Let's just before the second half. Somebody was just saying in the chat there. Let's talk about Harry Kane. Harry Kane, subject of £100 million bid from Manchester City plus players, and apparently Spurs are saying no to that. We don't know how long ago this bid went in. Maybe it was today. Maybe it's 2 weeks ago. Apparently Harry Kane is now focused on the Euros, and this will be picked up after the Euros. But interesting. What's your thoughts on this? Because Man City, as a United fan, I think with financial fair play, they were always, we've got the money, but let's not spend any more than 50, 60. Maybe the financial play basically over. They're like, let's go and spend the big money, 100 million on Kane. Do you think they'll go higher than that? Do you think he will move?
Theo, what are your thoughts?
I think if City, I don't know what the financial fair play rules are. I don't know how much they're willing to spend, on a player like Harry Kane. But if they do, tempt Tottenham Hotspur with around 150 figure, I think
it's not going to happen.
I think they can't turn it down. I think City have the money. They haven't spent much recently. And I mean recently as in, they've got the budget there.
Yeah.
And they haven't been spending it. They've been saving it for someone big.
Yeah.
And that big player could be Harry Kane. We saw them in the Champions League final. They missed a striker. So City clearly want him. In terms of Spurs' side, I'm thinking, all right, Levy knows he needs the money. I know he's turning it down now, but maybe it's a way of just getting a bit more, get one good offer, and then take it. Take it or leave it.
You could take it. What about you, Thogdad? If you were Daniel Levy, you've got 100 million, they're offering you some players. Money's always nice, but then spending 150 million when everyone knows you've got 150 million is hard. So I almost think 100 million and maybe take a Raheem Sterling or someone like that. It's half a start, isn't it?
Yeah, all day long. I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think Harry Kane's got 2 years left on his contract. So I think so. So he is, obviously a depreciating asset. He'll be worth nothing in 2 years if they can't nail him down to a new contract. And clearly, from what we're hearing, he doesn't want to stay at Tottenham. We can understand that. He's not winning any trophies. So you've got an asset that's going to go down from 100 million to zero in 2 years. You have to sell him. And I think 100 million will do it. And I think in this kind of post-pandemic climate, that's a very, very good number. You're not going to do much better than that. Yeah, maybe throw in another player, but that's as good as you're going to get. You're not going to get 150 million for any player in 2021.
He's an arsehole to deal with, though, Levy. I mean, United don't really deal with Spurs anymore. We did it with Carrick and Berbatov. It was very, very long. They're almost the Dortmund of England. They're very adamant about what they want, and I think Levy's almost like. I think he'll want 125. I think that's what it will take. But I think it will be negotiated, and Harry Kane will force the move, like you say, because why shouldn't? I mean, actually, that's the point. Do you think Harry Kane is right to go?
Yes, I do. And if I was Harry Kane,
he wants it. He clearly wants it.
I would love to see Harry Kane break Alan Shearer's Premier League goals record, which means he's got to stay in the Premier League. I can't see him moving overseas. I don't think. The Barcelonas and Real Madrids of this world are skint. PSG, I don't think the fit is right. If I was Man City and my 100 million or thereabouts was rejected, I would say to sort of, let it be known to Harry Kane, we'll come back for you in a year. And then a year later, you buy him for 50 or 60 because there's a year left on his contract. I think if you're Daniel Levy, apart from bringing in Jose Mourinho, he's a very good businessman. He's a very good businessman. He's a shrewd operator. Yeah, he doesn't like dealing with certain clubs, but I respect him as a businessman. You want someone like that as your CEO. Behind the scenes, pulling the strings.
A lot of people give him a lot of crap, so it's a little bit of a different opinion.
I thought he's quite likable on the Amazon thing. I think he is an owner that's got the best interests of Spurs at heart, but also in a business sense, he's not going to be stupid either. And that's always a hard thing for fans, isn't it? You're always going to be blamed as an owner, but I think he does want Spurs to be successful in a market where he can't compete with Chelsea and Man City or even United, really.
Absolutely. So I respect what he's done and, building that incredible stadium. I know that that's brought with it a lot of debt, but he's, for me, him and, the main owner, they're just a level above the Glazers in terms of who I'd want as an owner of my club. But to answer your question, I think Kane will go, and I think it will be around the 100 mark.
Yeah, I think me. Yeah, sorry. Go on. Yeah, I reckon for me, Harry Kane, if he does make the move to Manchester City, I think he levels himself up. I think he can get a level of contributions a season where you start to compare him with the absolute best.
Yeah.
I think the team around him and the quality that he could, the contributions that he could produce. And I know it's tough to say after watching England the last few games, but again, I think that does play down to the whole idea that he's probably thinking about his life in the future and his career in the future on a club level. I think he can go up, move up a level if he moves to City, and I think he wants it, to be honest. Yeah.
And he is a brilliant player. Forget those 2 games he's just played for England. He's one of the best players in the world, full stop. He really is.
Something's on his head.
And if he played for Man City, for me, that's the missing link. If you've got Harry Kane on a 5-year contract, City can win 3 of the next 5 Champions Leagues. They can win 4 of the next 5 Premier Leagues.
I just want to say as well that with Spurs, the Spurs fans moaning, we're not Spurs fans. We are football fans, and you will know your club better than we do. And if you're saying Daniel Levy's not a good owner, then I will bow down to your greater knowledge. But obviously, we can only look at it from what we look at it. And, I think that if I was a Spurs fan, Harry Kane's a massive loss. Of course he is. But I think the time is right. He's got the right to go and do that. He's been a good servant. You're not going to win a cup. You're not going to win the Champions League. And I think that actually he's one man. I know striker's different to goalkeeper, but I always feel with a goalkeeper, you could have David De Gea, you could have Donnarumma, but you could replace them with Kasper Schmeichel and make a massive amount of money and spend it elsewhere. And I think Spurs with 110 million, you could get rid of Harry Kane and bring in a striker that's not Harry Kane, who will still score your goals, but then also improve your midfield and your defence. So I think for Spurs, it's a good deal as well. You've got a world-class striker, but you're not a world-class team, and you need to build a team. So I think there's a deal to be done. Somebody said 110 million. That might do it. It might be players as well, but I think there's definitely a deal to be done.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's going to be good. Anyway, the second half is just about to start, so we'll looking forward to that. Hopefully Russia can get back into it.
Yeah.